There we go. So we know addition, increased by, more than, combined, together, total of, sum of, added to, and plus. This is just some. There are multiple more that have not been added on here. These are just the most common ones we see. Subtraction, decreased by, less than, less, fewer than, minus, difference of, and subtracted from. Multiplication, times, multiplied by, product, double, triple, quadruple, and twice. And division, per, out of, ratio of, quotient of, percent, divided equally, broken up into, half, third, fourth, and it goes on. This is just a reminder of what we've already talked about from Unit 1. Switch words are also from Unit 1. It's than and from. These are important because these are the ones that are often forgot about the most. So we're going to recall and rewrite these word phrases into algebraic expressions. So a number less than 7. What goes in the place of a number? X. What's the operational phrase here I need to make note of? Less than. Is that one special?
No. Oh, yeah.
Because it has what word? Than. So what should actually come first? 17. What goes between them? Minus X, because less means subtract. Any questions there? See you a second. Thank you. A product of 6 and a number. So, number is X. What's the special phrase here that we need to make note of? Product. So how would I write this? 6X. The sum of a number and 9. What's the operational phrase here? What goes in the place of number? So how would I write this? Plus 9, because what does sum mean? Addition. Do you notice it always goes where the and is? If you're not making note of that, that could probably help you understand what you're doing. So if you see of, look for the and. The sum of, look for an and. The product of, look for an and. 16 increased by X. What's the operational phrase here? Increased by. So how would I write this? Absolutely. Any questions there? A number decreased by 11. Absolutely. Because it does not have a from or a than, so we're not flipping anything. It's staying exactly as it was written. The quotient of a number and 2. What's the operational phrase here? So if I see an of, I'm looking for a what? So how would I write this? Absolutely. Any questions there? Half a number y. Because what does half mean? Dividing by 2. A number or doubled? No. You're on the right path. R times 2, which is written as what? 2R. Doubled means multiplication, but not 2 itself. When you say squared, that's R times R. We're looking for doubled, which is times 2, which it's set up here. So be careful with that one. Looking at that, the last one, it says 10 times the difference of X and 4. So what is our operational phrase or phrases here? Times and the difference of. So if I see an of, I'm looking for. So what needs to come first? Thank you. Because it's an operation followed by another operation. Does that make sense? So it's saying this is together. So what would be inside of the parentheses? And that's our answer. Any questions there? This is recalling. Remember, these are expressions. We are doing equations. So if we see the word is, that means equal to. Everybody with me? So if you see is, that is an equal sign. So, it says, example 1, what if we added the word is? Let's try to translate phrases using the word is. So, it says the sum of a number and 9 is 6. So, what is our operational phrases here? Sum of and is. So, how would I write the sum of a number and 9? X plus 9 equals 6. And they did not say solve it, they just want us to translate it. So we stop there. Any questions there? So is this very different from what we just did? No, we're just adding what word? There we go. The product of 6 and a number is 18. What's the operational phrases here? So how would I write that? Everybody still with me? Look at number 3. 4 subtracted from twice a number is 30. What's our operational phrases here? Subtracted from. Is that all? Twice is. So, what needs to be written first? Not quite. What tells me 4 doesn't go first? From. So what needs to actually go first? No, not quite. 2. Where did the 2 come from? Twice. That's multiplication by what number? 2. 2, what comes after that? Twice what? So 2, what comes after it? Twice what? What goes in the place of a number? So 2 what? Remember, this is left alone. That's on the side by itself, so it has no merit to what's happening on this left side. So what comes after 2x? Minus 4, because we said subtracted from. And then equals 30. This is why this lesson is so important. You have to know how to sequence this and know how to write it effectively. Hence why bell work was the way it was this morning. Does that make sense? Because the bell work question looked just like this one. Any questions there? Triple the original number x is equal to 700. What are the operational phrases here? Triple is equal, right? So, how would I write this? 3x equals, perfect. There was nothing extra there. Any questions there? 4 times the sum of a number x and 10 is identical to 48. So, what are the operational phrases here? Times sum of, and what did you say? Is. So what would come first? 4. Not quite. What will come after 4? Parentheses. Because is that an operation following another operation? Yes. What needs to go inside of there? And then? That's perfect. Any questions there? You see why highlighting is essential for this? It's important. That way you know where your information is coming from. The quotient of a number in 2 is 16. What are your operational phrases here? I see an of, so I must look for an and. And just because I didn't say it in this one or in this one right here, because there's the and that goes with it, it still applies. So, what's the other operational phrase? Is. So how would I write this? What was it? What would come first? Not quite. X Because it says the quotient of a number and 2, which means there's no from, there's no than, so we don't flip-flop it. You write it exactly as it's written. Any questions there? Example number 2. Now they want us to translate and solve them. Okay? So, looking at number 1, it says the sum of a number and 9 is 6. The sum of a number and 9 is 6. So, what is the operational phrase here? Sum of and is. When there's an of, you need to look for an. So, how would I write this? So that's the original equation. That's 1/2 of your answer. Now we have to solve that. So how do I solve it? Oh, no. It's okay. So what's being brought down? And what's being typed in? So type in 6 minus 9. What'd y'all get? -3. So that's the second half of your answer. That makes sense? Everybody still with me? So, that's the first part. That's the second part they want you to do. The product of 6 and a number is 18. What are your operational phrases here? The product of. When you see an of, you need to look for an. And what's your other operational phrase? What's the other operational phrase? Is. So how do I write the product of 6 and a number? That's the first part. Now how do I solve that? I didn't say yes or no to that. We're working. So from here, what am I bringing down? X equals, and what am I typing in? Which is? Any questions there? Looking at number 3, 4 subtracted from twice a number is 30. So what are your operational phrases here? So how would I write this? So, how do I solve this? What's being brought down? What am I typing in? Which is? Perfect. What do I need to do from here? And that gets me? Thank you. I was looking for that whole answer there. Any questions? That was great work. Looking at number 4. Triple the original number x is equal to 700. So how would I do this one? What am I starting with? Triple is. So how do I write this? Well, is equal. Now how do I solve that? So what's being brought down? X equals. And then what's being typed in? So do that for me, please, and thank you. What'd y'all get? And can you hit math 1 enter? It just stays the way it's supposed to stay because 700 is not divisible by 3 and they don't have any common terms. And that's it. Any questions there? Looking at number 5. 4 times the sum of a number x and 10 is identical to 48. So what do I need to do here? And now, from there. Now how do I solve this?
4 times x.
4 times x, which is?
4x.
Then,
4 times 10.
which is?
48.
Absolutely. What do I do from here?
Subtract 40 on both sides.
So it's being brought down.
4x
Mm-hmm. What do I do from there? And that gets me? What'd you get? 8 divided by 4? 2. You did 4 divided by 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Everybody with me? The quotient of a number and 2 is 16. What do I do here? You tell me.
The quotient is
There's an of you're looking for in.
and
So how do I write this?
x over 2 equals 16.
How do I solve it?
Times 2 on both sides.
So what's being brought down?
X equals
And then what's being typed in?
16 times 2.
Which is
32.
30 what?
32.
Any questions there? How are we feeling? If you're feeling bad, we got to question what's going on and why aren't you asking questions?
Well, I feel
Then you don't feel too bad then.
yeah.
So, we already know what's going on. Daily grade's about to happen. So, the daily grade that I want you to do for me is this. Can you do numbers 1, 3, and 5? Yep. Do 1, 3, and 5. So you can see that I have them circled. Those are the 3 I want you to do. Get those done, bring them to me. I'll put a timer for like 12 minutes. $16 increased by x is 19. 16 increased by x is 19. What's important to mark here? Increased by and is. So how would I write this?
16 plus x equals 19.
Absolutely agree. So that's my first part, right? How do I solve this?
Minus x on both sides.
Minus 16, because that's the constant I'm trying to get rid of. What's being brought down?
X equals
And then 19 minus 16 is?
3.
Any questions there? All right. Looking at number 3. 4 times the difference of a number x and 2 is the same as 20. What's important to mark here? Times the difference of is of, and there's an and. So, what needs to come first? 4. Thank you. It says is the same as. All you had to see is the word is. That's really it. But if you highlighted the same as well, that still equals. So, what do I need to do to solve this?
4x.
4 times x, which is?
4x.
Then? 4 times negative 2, which is? What goes behind that? How do I solve this two-step equation?
Plus 20 on both sides.
Plus 8, because we're trying to get x by itself. What's being brought down?
4x.
What's 20 plus 8?
20.
Then what do I do from there?
Divide by 4 on both sides.
Thank you. Any questions there? Those who messed up on this one, it was with the initial translation. That's what I noticed. But the people who messed up on number 5, it was because you were used to something being at the end rather than being at the beginning. and that was the problem. So what's important to mark for 23 is a number decreased by 11. Is, because notice that it's at the front. And then what else is important to mark? The order does not change what goes in the place of is. So what should come first? 23 equals minus 11.
We plus 11 on both sides.
Absolutely. We add 11. So what's being brought down? X on this side equals, and then the 11s cancel out. I'm not going to cross mine out because I need to see that original equation. So what's 23 plus 11? 34. What's another way I can write this answer? Are they both acceptable answers? So if you messed up any of these, do you see where the mistakes were? I tried to mark them obviously on your paper without taking away from your actual work. That way you were able to rewrite it and fix it, okay? So look at that feedback, pay attention, do your practice problems, okay? You already know. Doing these helps improve your grade tremendously because you're getting help. Remember, tutoring is this afternoon at 3 to 3:30. Tomorrow morning during our little break time from 7:08 to 7:35 across the hallway in Ms. Webb's room. Make sure you are utilizing your resources. You want to see your grade pull up, you have to put in that effort, okay? Any questions? Okay, you already know what to do. Get all this stuff put away, finish your practice problems, turn in your notes. Kinks and the videos are already on Schoology and on YouTube for 2.8 to 2.9.
I didn't do.
Yes, make sure you grab it at all times, baby.